like the family you describe with the child clearly has to go to the hospital. The father's filming. He's like, "Call 911," and she can't find her "How about you call 911 with the phone you're
You're
using
literally
to fill You're
filming.
literally filming, call
I
911."
will send you that video
Please
after we
do.
get off. It is still pinned to her page, by the way. It is still pinned. She has 2 pinned posts, and that is one of them. The child genuinely looks like they are not going to live. Like, they look deathly ill. And, like, the dad is just filming, and the kid's siblings are, like, crying in the background because their brother looks so sick. And, like, she's yelling to, like, call 911, but he's, like, just filming. And then they not only filmed this instead of, like, calling 911, but they uploaded it, and they not only uploaded it, but they pinned it to her profile.
I
I don't know.
Why? Because of attention, because it does get views, but to me, that feels like borderline neglect, isn't it?
I mean, I
Isn't
guess
it?
it's like,
Isn't there, like,
yeah.
aren't people getting, like, real actual consequences for this kind of stuff?
I mean, I haven't seen really, like, any consequences in this way. Like, it has to be much more, like,
Ruby
clear.
Fear.
Ruby Frankie, yeah, where she was, like, actually charged with child abuse, and her kids were, like, malnourished and, like, covered in, lacerations and stuff. But, like, I mean, it's at the very least, like, a very strange decision to make. Like, I just
Yeah.
if my husband were filming when my daughter was in pain, I would punch him in the face.
In the face, in
And
the
I've
phone.
never done that,
And then
but
I
I
would
would
take
do
his
it.
phone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You know, one story that I wanted to ask your take on, the Mika and, I forget the husband's name, Stouffer
James, yeah.
story with that is one of the saddest. It is so that's where they adopted a son with special needs from China named Huxley, and then essentially realized they could not
Yeah.
manage him.
Yeah.
Um, and then I guess if you could tell me what the blowback was, I don't quite recall.
Yeah, so he just kind of slowly was disappearing from their content, and, like, they weren't posting him, and people were like, "Where's Huxley? Where's Huxley?" Like, people made entire, like, Instagram accounts dedicated to, like, trying to, like, sleuth where he had gone. And eventually the parents came online and said, like, Huxley had issues that we weren't capable of dealing with, and developmentally and disability wise, and he has gone to live with another family who is more equipped to handle his special needs. And I think, like, that is obviously, like, a deeply heartbreaking decision to have to make. I think what that story speaks to is the parasocial relationship that these parents fostered between this child and the fans. Because, I mean, they took fans on the whole journey. Like, they took them through vlogs, like, through the experience of applying for adoption, of home visits, of going to China to pick the boy up, of there was this one point where you could, buy like buy something that would translate to a puzzle piece, that when the puzzle was put together, it would show his face, and that was, like, his face reveal. So it's like, you you got people so connected to this child. And then there was also the blowback of, like, okay, so you're not parenting him anymore, but you still have content about him online that's getting you money. So you're still profiting off of him.
Wonder how different it would be, or whether it would be different if the content that she had been writing about was her experience of adopting a child with special needs, and the difficulties, and then going through the pain of realizing I'm not capable of doing this. But like to your point, the people who consume these channels, they feel this, like, intense emotional connection to this child who is now going away.
Yeah.
So to them, it plays into, like, well, what would I do? And you don't know everything, of
No.
course,
No,
but
no. It's, like, difficult because I think a lot of people judge her for that decision, but I think, like,
mhm.
I can't imagine being in that position, and I can't imagine that, like, maybe it was better for him to be with a family who was, like, specifically trained to handle, like, this kind of disability. But I think, like, this is the thing, is, like, when you invite people into your life, like, you never know what that relationship will become and how intense it will become.